रेडी। कैलाश चंद्र ट्रांसक्रिप्शन नंबर 238, टोटल वर्ड 800। ऑडियो को लाइक करें, सब्सक्राइब करें और शेयर करें और बेल बटन जरूर दबा दें। रेडी। 238 कैलाश चंद्र। स्टार्ट। The third point I think that we have got to keep in mind, to which my honorable friend Dr. Syama Prasad has referred, is the question of increasing the productivity capacity of the country. That, of course, goes to the root of all the problems with which we are faced, and in the circumstances in which we are placed, I have no doubt that all the agencies of government concerned with production would do their best to meet this difficult situation. Suggestions have been made by honorable members to the effect that there should be a suitable machinery which would enable government to take into confidence respective and elements of the house, so that the proposals which government have in hand might be formulated and might be implemented with their assistance. Government have decided to appoint a committee, an ad hoc committee, for the purpose of considering what measures should be taken to meet the problems created by devaluation, and also to determine whether adequate progress is being made in the matter of implementing these proposals from time to time. Government have accepted the proposals made by honorable members to that effect, and I hope with the approval of the Deputy Prime Minister to make a very early announcement of the composition and terms of reference of the committee. There are just one or two other matters that I want to refer to. There has been a great deal of reference during the debate to the question of our relation to sterling. Although honorable members like Professor Ranga were preferred to admit that formally now there is no such thing as a link between the rupee and the sterling, circumstances are such that there appears to be a link which we are not able to get away from, and I have no doubt that what he has at the back of his mind is that since all this trouble arises from the fact that the greater part of our trade is with the sterling area, it is necessary that we should reorganize our trade in such a manner that the sterling area will not dominate our foreign trade to the extent that it does now. The difficulty about that is this: as Pandit Thakur Das Bhargava said in his speech yesterday, you cannot get away overnight from the commitments which history has made for us during the last many years. It is a very difficult thing to build up trade connections, but it is a quite easy thing to destroy them, rightly or wrongly, for purely accidental reasons or by historical developments. It so happens today that most of our trade connections are with the countries in the Sterling area, and I think it would be a mistake from the point of view of our own interests to do anything which will destroy these long-standing trade connections, which are of very great help to us. What we might do in order to achieve the kind of objective that honorable members have in mind is not to reduce or to destroy the trade connections which we have in the Sterling area, but to build up new connections in other areas so that the existing trade connections that we have in the Sterling area would not be so large a proportion of our total foreign trade. That is really the direction in which we ought to move. There is one other point I want to raise. That is a point which Mr. Munshi mentioned, that the circumstance which seems to stand in the way of increasing production in the country of helping progress on saving and investment is the way in which the income tax administration of the country is doing its job. I have been in very close touch with the subject because of representations I have had from various quarters, and my own feeling is that the officers of our income tax department, engaged as they are in an extremely thankless job, are trying to do their best in order to bring about a better tradition in this matter. I have for some time felt that one of the difficulties of our income tax administration is that we have not yet been able to establish anything like a satisfactory liaison between the income tax administration and the public with whom that administration deals. In other countries, I think there has been a great deal of development by research in the matter of cultivating satisfactory relations between those who collect income tax and those who pay it. It is one of my objects at present in regard to the question of income tax that we should have some kind of organization which will give our officers in the income tax department the right attitude with regard to the question of dealing with the public. चलिए इसको ट्रांसक्रिप्शन कीजिए, 800 था ही